Hi, everybody. I'm glad you are here. And well, if you want to check out readings for fire sign, all the main signs. I mean, I did 4 readings on Blue Dragon Tarot channel. Okay. Uh, for fire signs, earth signs, water signs, and what is fire signs, earth signs, water signs, air signs also. I did a very quick general reading for them. If you want to watch it, just go on Blue Tarot 01, Blue Dragon Tarot 01, I think it's like that. But I think you will find already I put up some, you know what, I will put it up in a community site, okay? I just made this channel recently, so it would be nice if you could subscribe because I have only 4 subscribers on it. I'm planning to do only readings, and there won't be any criminal readings on it. There won't be any, I won't go into these investigation things in it, only love readings and financial readings, about your life. Well, in one of the reading, there is some child custody battles, yes, but I won't get into these really specific criminal readings, okay? On that channel, I don't want. So if you're interested in just checking out your general reading about your birth sign, that might be yours, not necessary because these are collective readings. When you do check out readings, you should check out other signs, not just your main signs, but your sun or moon sign, or if you're looking for love reading, often Venus sign is relevant. Okay, so you go on my Blue Dragon Tarot channel, and I put up 4 readings, 4 different readings. If you are interested on that, I understand not too many people are interested in like these crime readings I'm doing here. And also sometimes on this channel I give out really heavy spiritual teachings that are ununderstandable for people who are not awakened, or they just not on that level to understand. Just a second, because I'm making my coffee, my Italian coffee, and I forgot about it. Oh, sorry, just a second, and I'm coming. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, it smells heavenly. I found out a new way of making coffee. Some people call it a veggie brew, but I don't think so. It's like, spices you ground with your coffee. Like, I grounded, what did I put in? A cloves and what else? What else did I put? I don't know anymore. What did I put? Maybe cinnamon. I grounded and mix it with the coffee. And I have an Italian, simple Italian coffee making thingy bob, because this is not a machine. You just put it on a, on a gas stove. I love certain coffee machine, but I had to buy 5 or 6 different one, because these people who broke into my house always broke my coffee machine. I don't know why it did bother them. So that shows these people were not really somebody who steal because they would have taken the coffee machine. No, they broken my rice cooker, things, things like that, little things. They broke everything in the house, so I decided not to buy any more coffee machine. I bought this Italian. It's so nice. I'm telling you, and it costs nothing practically. And the quality of coffee that it makes is really excellent. And you can mix it up with spice. And excuse me, I had to open the window, and we have lots of people at the neighbor's garden. They're celebrating birthday, but they make lots of noises. Excuse me for that. So my download, I saw a car. There was a woman and a man sitting in it, a man at the driving place. And the man felt like somebody who's explodes in every seconds, And the woman was fidgeting with her hand that what we gonna do? What we gonna do? I don't want to go to the prison. What we gonna do? What we gonna do? And the man say that shut up. Nobody's going to prison. We will handle this situation. Okay. And this woman is really nervous. I mean, her nerves can't hold it anymore. It's just too much for this woman, okay? So this woman, they did some shitty things, okay? And if the King of Swords comes here out, it's not an air sign person, but it represents the law enforcement person or a unit, okay? Yeah, they talking, my spirit guide saying this is a unit, okay? I can see on the man's face, his mouth is closed. It's like, it's like somebody who's enraged but hold it back and wants to control himself. But the level of hate these people have. And I pick up on a divine masculine and a divine feminine, very strongly a divine masculine. This guy really hates this divine masculine. This is, how can you have so much hate for someone? I don't know what this guy did. My spirit guy telling me this guy did not do anything to this guy. He is just simple, does not want this guy he hates to be successful in anything. And, but this level of hate, oh my God, if somebody kill your child, in a certain level, I can understand your pain. You're like that, but nothing. This man did nothing to this guy and this woman. And they did something illegal. I want to dig in. They did organize something. There is a group effort was in this. The main result I wanted to achieve, that this person will be locked up as a crazy person because a fool come out. I have here the 9 of Pentacles and a Knight of Cups. A Knight of Cups has a low vibrational energy. That's manipulation. High level of manipulation. It's not high. When it's high vibrational, it symbolizes creativity and romance and the charming imagination, It's positive normally, but here, it's really, they wanted to manipulate a healthy person to be seen as somebody who has a mental disease. And I can see while these two persons organized this, they had lots of fun, huh? They were laughing, whatever they did. a lot on torturing this person, and this nine of pentacles can be a man or a woman. Okay, my spirit guide telling me that is this is a divine masculine and a divine feminine, that they both of them were manipulated by this couple. They had the same agenda for both of them, to lose absolutely everything, make lots of money on them, but they wanted to achieve in a different way. Yeah. As lots of magic, I mean, esoteric, etheric, and energetic manipulation was involved in this. I mean, when you do things like that, you need to understand it will have energetic consequence, because, and also there is illegal shit in it, because there is some blood magic. Children's blood were used. I was on I don't know if it was YouTube or TikTok. I think it was YouTube. I find the video, but after I lost it, so I don't know if I can find it again, because I wanted to put it up. That there was a black guy from Nigeria, and actually there was interviewing this black guy. And in Nigeria, I mean, I know Nigerian cultures a bit. I'm not Nigerian, of course. I can't know that much than these people who live there, but they are good people there. There are many Christians, for example. The Christianity had importance in that country, because the occultism was on a dark level so deep that the Christianity brought that country out of it. And actually, when as Christianity gained space, that country getting more and more wealthy. You can see the development of the country is getting more and more wealthy as Christianity is destroying this dark occultism. Why? Because when you use this blood magic, this sacrificial occultism that is extremely evil and illegal, I mean, on the 3D level, legally, it is punished in many countries. And when you use that on a national level, it brings national curses on a country. It does not bring blessings. And they are mistaken when they say that, look at those big secret societies in developed country like US and European countries, they do sacrifice babies and blah, blah, blah. This is a bullshit. This is not what makes that country to be wealthy and advanced. No. This is a divine people's presence who make them. And this guy, you know, in this interviewer is a black guy. I mean, he is a spiritualist or a witch, male witch, and he used it for healing. And he wanted to be more powerful. And he described this initiation. And they said you have to do absolutely everything if you want to be more powerful. And there was some cannibalism. I don't want to describe it. It's really disgusting. He had to eat human body. And after he was talking about human sacrifice, I stopped watching it because the energy was so heavy that I could not deal with it. And I said, no, I just can't. And but Spirit showed me that I don't want you to see each African people like that. Because personally, I know many of them who are really good people. I mean, I used to work for a family where the guy came from an African country and the woman is French. And the kids are extraordinary and divine and starseed. And if you've seen a couple where is the love, divine love present so much, then there, and actually they were Catholics, it's unbelievable. So please, what I'm talking about, that this is coming from an ancient religion that is not the whole religion is spoiled like that and evil, but some part of the religion went too far from a goodness. You know what I'm saying? Um, you can find in every religion, like Christian religion, we had the Inquisition, the Muslim, they have their own terrorist things, you know. And of course, this Nigerian occult religion, some part of it actually went wrong also. So please be considerate when you see politics, when you see religions. You need to see the whole thing together and not characterize everybody, put everybody in one bag, you know, that everybody's like that, everybody's like, no, it does not work like that. But there are a presence of a dark magic that based on this kind of sacrificial magic very, very strongly in Nigeria. It was very, very strongly for thousands of years. And as Christianity broke in, and I mean to be Christian in that country like 100 years ago, 50 years ago, was very, very difficult. And it's getting breakthrough and the country starts changing, okay? So much that some criminals actually who are in this kind of dark religion, or I don't know how to say it, because this is not the whole religion, but some part of it. I forgot the word, but it will come back. Sorry, guys, I did not sleep too much. So they are going away from the country. So they're coming to Europe, they're coming to US, and they're leaving the country because they practically hunted them more and more in Nigeria. Do you understand? So the problem is that these people are coming in France, coming in Germany, Italy, and the US, and they don't practice that part of the occultism that actually could help people and heal them, but exactly that type of dark magic that actually Luciferian use for human sacrifice. That is the problem. I'm just telling you all this that you understand the origin, where does it come from, and actually Luciferian are happy employing these type of spiritualists from Africa, especially, particularly from Nigeria. They have a very strong connection with the Nigerian mafia also. And they involve all kind of illegal activities. And they believe, I mean, this is that type of, how shall I put this? This is worse than necromancy and magic, okay? This is worse. And if you are a policeman, you would see some rituals, you would arrest everybody there. I mean, it's not that the fact that, for example, you know, cannibalism is not just not ethic, but illegal. And you have to kill that human. And these people don't have, I mean, they don't have moral feelings, don't have integrity, and they bring in Europe. And actually, spiritually, what I can see, it brings destruction in European countries and the US life. And that's how the whole society, this economics getting spoiled and destroyed, because they're going out from African countries. You need to understand, African countries start developing and they don't tolerate this type of energies anymore. So where do they go? They go to Europe. Don't misunderstand, I'm not racist. I'm not racist. Because God bless all those people who come in this country and integrate in the society and work really hard. I mean, I have people I love, and I mean, when I will have a possibility, I will bless them because they help me out and they are extraordinary people and they are African origin, okay? But these, I'm talking about this occult part of the religion that is based on sacrificial based blood rituals and practices that they don't tolerate anymore in African countries. So where they go, they come to European and American, and they're secretly doing it. And there is a market for it. They are well paid by secret society who use this idiocy because they believe it will make them powerful and rich. If it would be true, my question is that for many, many thousands of years, why African countries were oppressed by other humans, destroyed, and enslaved. If this type of practice brings you power, brings you, prosperity and happiness, if this would be really the solution, people do not think. People do not think. When you see your country and all the problems in your country, it is because of the Luciferian. It is because of this type of practices. And until they were limited, and until they were not that public and limited, they were, never, so many children never ever disappeared than they disappear right now. I remember when I was a little girl, we could play alone in the park. It was enough. My mom just looked out of the window, and checked time to time if I'm there. And each mother was like that in that time. Okay, I'm 50 years old, but I remember that you could let kids to go to the school alone, walking alone. 6, 7 years old kids, if the school was not too far, or let them in a park. Today you can't. Today you can't. Because these activities in Europe and in the US is so important that actually is destroying the politics, destroying this economics, destroying the morale of the people, bringing down the country, not the Black people. I'm not talking about Black people. No. This spirituality, this type of spirituality that is built on blood sacrifice and cannibalism, this type of spirituality is ruining a country, ruining a continent. And they are fleeing away. They're going away from Africa because they are not tolerated there. And you can see African countries are becoming stronger and developed more and more. And now Europe and the US is going down because of these energies. Spiritual energies are present and they're growing. And top of that, they're growing not in the middle class or the poor, but the elite. This is just you to understand the origin. Where does it coming from? This is not to hate Black people. Please do not misunderstand. And this is not to hate spiritual people, because not everybody, it's a very small fraction of spiritual people like that. But the damages they cause is extremely deep and can affect an entire nation, even a continent. We have here the Two of Cups, Four of Pentacles, Nine of Swords, the Hierophant, and the Chariots. So these two people in a car, I get back to them, they are because they collaborated with powerful people somehow. Okay? And these powerful people are capable to change people's destiny. Okay? Take it as you want. Maybe they are in a financial institute, maybe law enforcement, maybe the army, maybe the justice system, and they collaborated. This group collaborated. This couple belongs to a group who collaborated with these people, and I have impression that these people lied about something to these people, these powerful people. So these powerful people pulled many lines to give power to this little community. But they didn't realize that many parts of this community are actually mentally sick. Like these two people in this car, I'm convinced they have mental issues. That's for sure. That's for sure. We have here the Eight of Cups and a Three of Wands. Eight of Cups and a Three of Wands. I mean, I know people don't want to hear about Africa, but when I was younger, I learned a bit of African politics. I wanted to be a journalist and be in these African countries and, a reporter, journalist or whatever. And I studied a lot, just myself. And when you look at the politics, you can feel as the politics is changing, that the effect of this type of spirituality leave its trace on the government of the country, on the elite, economic power and political power who holds it. And unfortunately, it can destroy totally an entire country. Okay? And this is clearing up from Africa, thanks God. But the problem is coming in Europe and the US. So, what I wanted to say that, for example, for many, many years, these terrorist groups in many African countries could get away because they use this dark spirituality to control karma and spiritually control people so they could rule. Okay? So what I can see spiritually on earth, you need to understand when we talk about entities geographically, sorry guys, I mean geographically, it's cinnamon, okay? It's not drug, okay? Before someone starts having imagination or delusions. So, yeah, it is cinnamon. Look at that. This is cinnamon, okay? This is cinnamon. I wish you could feel. I wish you could feel, smell it, but this is cinnamon. This is not drug, okay? So please stop it. So what I was saying is that spiritually, geographically, each continent belongs to a kind of spiritual entity, king or a ruler, spiritually. We don't see them on a free day, okay? This is for spiritual people. And there is huge changes the last 50, 60 years, because I have impression that many strongholds, many high-grade dark entities from Africa shifted in Europe and the US. Okay? There was a kind of spiritual fight in these two countries, and many of these African dark entities took place in Europe and in US. Well, a positive thing that people in Africa got liberated from this, and then the next 50 years you will see a huge development in this country. They will be really wealthy, and they will be really positive changes in Africa, in many countries. And in Europe, unfortunately, I see lots of destruction. Once I had a dream, I dreamt that there will be a tsunami and that will destroy a big part of Europe. And I said, it's impossible. It seems possible. And I popped into someone who actually, he says a time traveler, but I think what he does is, well, I don't know. I don't want to judge because I don't know exactly what he does. But you can travel in time when you meditating, okay? But it's not a real physical time traveling. But he says he did physical. But I don't know how he did it. But he was talking about tsunami in Europe. It was talking about a third world war that will shake Europe. There will be some alien invasion that he talked about it. Actually, he did confirmation of many of my visions and prophecy I got from source, because it was just a confirmation. And I said, if there is somebody else who saw what I saw, then maybe it really will happen. But what I can see, that it's like Europe will be bombarded with horrible things. And I was looking for how is it possible that for many thousands of years, Europe was doing fine, because these entities were not present. They were not present in Europe. This is really important that people understand this in power and they resist these entities. That is really difficult, because if not, Europe and the US will be destroyed. Excuse me, it's too cold and they're laughing and talking, which is good, which is good for them. But I can't do my readings. That is just bothering me because I can hear gossiping and it's just the spirit of it is not, it's bothering my reading. So yeah, it's perfect like that. I looked it out. So this is really important that people understand who are in power in Europe and the US, that they have to resist these entities. And it's difficult. It is very difficult. No, honey, it won't happen like that. Because I can hear someone, oh, the black people will come in Africa and destroy it. No, it's not. I'm not talking about that. And please do not discriminate black people. Please. Because I know many black people who has more integrity than any white people I know. Okay? Please. I'm not talking about this. This is really an advanced spiritual food I'm giving out here. If you are a baby and you can't chew, this food is not for you. Okay? I'm talking about spiritual principalities, spiritual strongholds, and they exist and they have effect on our 3D reality hugely that you can't imagine. So when these spiritually strongholds and principles, I don't know how do you call them, but it's like kings, but we don't call them kings. They have they name their own language. Okay, there's no point saying it because these are kind of race. Okay, so when they were in Africa, because the mentality of people are shifting in Africa, they are more positive as the Christianity is spreading. People are liberated for divine love and they have contact with source, divine energies, and they're pushing out these dark energies from Africa. So they shifted to US and Europe. And there they were, the last 20 years, a huge spiritual fight between, these are dark energies, okay? These are higher rank than demons. I'm not talking about tiny little demons here. No, honey. I'm talking about here huge spiritual power, entities with huge spiritual power that you can't even imagine. And these entities control governments, control everything in a country practically, if they are powerful enough, as they did in Africa. So when these entities shift in Europe, they shifted 50, 60 years ago, they started this shifting, and the US and UK and France and Germany, that UK, France, Germany, and Italy is the main country where they shifted, but the other European countries also, because this is not one entity, but they move in groups. They organized, like an organized crime, okay? So when they moved, I just talk about now Europe, but it's relevant in US also. The same thing happened in the US. So when they moved spiritually and geographically in Europe, they had fights. I mean, there was a spiritual war between two groups of entities, demonic entities or dark races, whatever you call it, okay? There was a war between them. Who will control Europe? And that this group who was in power in Africa won. It has nothing to do with Black people, okay? So they won. They are over Europe now. But there are divine entities also who's fighting. Do you understand what I'm saying? The problem is that because they're trying to control whole Europe, they don't do it deliberately, but it comes. The destruction comes with this dark entity. I mean, Europe will go down the level that Africa was 200 years ago or 300 years ago. Because that is the consequences of this spirituality, this spiritual authority that shifted into Europe. People don't want me to talk. And it has nothing to do with Black people. I'm talking about spiritual beings here. And they give to not all the government, not all the politicians, but very slowly they implement the mentality, the thinking of politicians, people in power, those people who controls a country. Because it's not only the government who controls. There are law enforcement system, the army, the justice system, education. Education is extremely important. Are you kidding? Go on my TikTok, check out what is the new world order wants. The destruction of family. That is not a family who will bring up the kids, but the government. This is horrible. I mean, the human values and disappear, the integrity, the moral. People won't feel that actually these entities that used to rule in Africa will be in majority, and they implement their mentality, their conception about life to humans and leaders who actually control a country. And there is a huge fight because divine people bringing down divine energy in Europe, and they resist to this. So there is a fight between good and bad also in a certain way, but I want you to understand the spiritual background of what's happening really. If there is a powerful person, this powerful person does not rule just because of his or her human brain. No. Behind that person, they will be necessarily and 100,000% sure. I mean, there is a spiritual being behind that person. If it's a dark entity or a high vibrational entity, it's depend of the spirituality of this person. Or if he is not spiritual, then that what kind of upbringing this person had, I mean, what kind of soul he has at first as a baby, I mean, when he was born, what kind of soul he was born with, And secondly, the values, the human values that his parents give to him. I mean, integrity and moral. So if this person is not spiritual, but he has a high integrity behind him, there will be high vibrational entities who will protect him and help him to make moral and decision that are good for the country, that are good for the humanity. Do you understand? Because high vibrational beings are extremely empathic. They love humans, they love Earth, and they want good things for humans. So this type of leaders wants Europe to flourish, wants human to feel better, to have a better life. But when you have a human who has already a low vibrational soul, who did not learn their lesson for many lifetimes and coming in a baby body, so there is not a divine soul in it. And top of that, he will receive an education when there is no moral and integrity, even if that person is not spiritual. His low vibrational soul and life will attract darker entities. So when a person like that gets into power, behind him, there will be low vibrational entities who will protect him, who will control him, who will give him ideas, who will give him, he will perceive it, because if it's a person who does not believe in spirituality, he will perceive it, see it like it's his thoughts, that's his idea. Okay? But in reality, it's coming from a higher realm. This is really important, you understand, and it's exactly the same thing happened in Africa before. That's why they had so much anarchy and wars and suffering and all kind of things. And it's coming in Europe now. Not because of black people, it is because of dark principalities, dark strongholds are shifted 50, 60 years ago in Europe, and now they are in power. It has nothing to do with black people. What you need to understand, that in reality, we don't fight flesh and blood, but spiritual principalities, spiritual strongholds, and spiritual beings. Once you have the victory over those spiritual beings, then human will fall back, the human nature. So the fight is already won. Do you understand? The once you fight only the human and you don't handle the spiritual background, doesn't matter how much you fight the human, because humans can be replaced by another human. The spiritual principality that is geographically on that era, on that, especially when we talk about tribunals, we talk about governments, and there is a spiritual principality or a stronghold over it. You can change the human, you can change the procurer, you can change whoever you want, even if they are divine. This principality, this stronghold will have a very strong effect on their decision, on their mentality, and what they do, and what kind of effect they will have on people, on their country. Do you understand? I hope some people understand what I'm talking about here. So when when you want to change and clean up a country from this dark mentality, this that evidently ruining people down and a country down, first you have to fight these spiritual principalities. And for that you need divine help. For that you need spiritual help. For that you need high vibrational being who will who will fight these low vibrational beings. I don't know if it's when these principality is removed, or the power is at least half of the power is reduced, then that procureur, that judge, that president, that minister can make right decision that will help people, his country, and in the end raise up Europe to a place where Europe is supposed to be. Don't change my speech. You don't want me to talk. Europe can be in a wonderful position. US also, they can keep their position and grow, just like Africa, just like Asia. It is possible for each continent, but the purification has to happen. And you can change governments, you can change all these people in power. If the spiritual principality, the spiritual stronghold is not changed, you change nothing. It stays the same. It stays the same. I studied politics in Africa, in Europe. I mean, I'm coming from Hungary, in UK. Doesn't matter what kind of party will be in, will rule, nothing will change. Spiritually, that principle, that principality and that stronghold is not removed or reduced. Its power is not reduced, because spiritually it is blocked what people want to change. Do you understand? I hope it's clear what I'm talking to people about, because this is a heavy spiritual food, and these entities does not want this out. They don't want people knows about it. They don't want, because they're lying to people. They're lying to leaders. Are you kidding with this blood sacrificial thing? Telling elites that you will have everything if you do it. You will be rich and powerful. They don't tell that they will ruin down the whole country, and one day these elites will rule on nothing. Because there will be anarchy, there will be destruction, and left nothing about the country they are right now. So what the fuck they will rule on? They don't tell that. No, they lie. That's why they don't want people to get awakened. Because if you are awakened, you see, if not all, but at least some part of it. And they don't want people to see this. The Hermit and a Three of Cups. Well, I thought my reading will concentrate on this couple, so I've ended up teaching about real politics, because that is the real politics. I mean, what a human does with words, and what that is going on a governmental level, it is the surface, the tip of the iceberg, and nobody can see what is underwater. And that's why many people just don't want to go to vote anymore. That's why many people don't believe in politics, because they don't realize what is behind. What is behind? It's not enough to change a party, a president, a person that represents that power, because it's not the human who brings, I mean, yes, in certain, I mean, if this is a powerful divine person and go in there, these divine entities go with him. But the human alone can't fight this. You are incapable to fight alone these entities. You need to have high vibrational entities with you when you go in a dark place like that. And you break in. I mean, I analyzed the Second World War and the First World War, and actually I checked out many when I was younger, I just studied this. How does it happen? And so show me many things spiritually, what's happened actually. And imagine that a really thick darkness, and the light is like a knife is going in. And after, when somebody eating a cake, I mean, it's like opening up, and with force, lots of force, and a light energy is just pushing back the darkness. Do you understand? And that's what happened actually at Second World War, and it was painful. And it took lots of divine people, even if they didn't know they're divine. They were divine entities with them. They went in, and the first groundbreakers, they give their life even. The first cut of the light, the first cut in the darkness, and after they opening it up, you need high vibrational beings with you if you are in high power. Because if not, there will be low vibrational beings who will attach themselves to you. There is no between. I'm sorry for saying that. It is black and white. After, you need human intelligence. I'm not saying that we are puppets. We are not. We have free wills. But this is the case when you have somebody actually is coming out. You have a politician, and this politician wants change. And then in this milieu, there's so much darkness, so much resistance, so much blockages, but he alone can't make the changes. He's alone. Do you understand? Even that he has some high vibrational entities around him, even if he doesn't know, because he's not spiritual, but he has integrity and he has moral. He is a powerful human, but his alone is not enough to change the whole thing. This is the reason when these politicians, these procurers, these judges, these colonels, these, high people in high position all over the country feel alone with the burden of the darkness. They don't know this is the burden of the darkness, but they feel the burden, and they feel like they are fighting a giant and they can't break through. That giant is the spiritual dark entity principle. That's the spiritual dark entity stronghold you're fighting, and you don't know it. In reality, we need to realize this and work with high vibrational entities to move forward. I mean, I'm not talking about, yes, if you're Christian, pray. I'm not saying not, but there are other ways you can enhance your spirituality and get viewer. I mean, you're a politician, you don't meditate. How can you see all the traps that your enemy will give you? You pay somebody who's spiritual, and what if that person is fucking you up? You should have from first hand the information. And the first step to be spiritual, that you start meditating. And I'm sorry, you need to love yourself, heal yourself. I know you're fed up. Everybody fed up with this blah, blah, blah. They think it's a new age shit, but there's no other way. Because if you are not pure, you will attract dark entities. I'm not talking about sexual thingy bobs, okay? We don't talk about that. No, I'm talking about your soul. I'm talking about that you, I mean, just look at Nikola Tesla, okay? Or the most important inventor, or Newton. I mean, just look at these scientists. I mean, many of them had religion, but many of them didn't have any religion. I'm not talking about religion here, that you need to tap in a spiritual realm, and that you tap in the right side. You need to purify your soul and make the meditation your daily base. your meditation, when you tap in. I think it was Newton. Was it Newton or Nikola Tesla? I don't know, but there was one of these inventor that he had a rocking chair, okay? And he is sitting in a rocking chair, and he had like a little ball in his hand. And he was rocking himself, closed his eyes, and he didn't know it's meditation, because in that time, meditation did not exist in Europe. And he was rocking himself, and he got in a meditative state that he didn't know it is. And actually, he tapped into the ether. When you tap into the ether, you get information. And actually, when he got in the ether, he could get new ideas. And when it happened, the ball fall off his hand, and a noise woke him up. And when he woke him up, he got a solution. Okay? This is nothing mystic about. It's on ether. Everybody has a capacity as human being to tap into ether, tap into knowledge that normally you don't have on a free day. Do you understand? Nikola Tesla was the same. Michelangelo. Are you kidding? Many of these inventors, they invent something on, they have the idea on ether, and they can see the thing coming together, if it's a machine or whatever, coming together. And after they see it does not work, they dismantle it. And after another things, idea coming together. So they don't even need to do the research on a free day, because it's actually done on an ether. So when they come out of this meditative state, they have the solution that actually works. You think you can't do this as a politician? You think you can't do this as a colonel or an, I don't know the grade at army. God forgive me, I don't know the grades, but a general. When you have a war situation, can you imagine how much advantage you have? Or when you are a judge and you can't decide who's lying. I mean, not saying that it should control your decision. Don't misunderstand. No. No. But it can give you a direction where you have to go and investigate or question to get a clarity on a free day. Do not make a judgment just because you saw an ether. No, I'm not saying to do that. No. That is illegal. You can't do that. You are not a good judge if you do that. But it can give you a direction where you can ask questions or lead somehow to find out the truth. Do you understand? This is what I mean about spirituality. And in this term, it has nothing to do with religion. In this term, you keep your human values, your moral, your integrity. And that's what you have to cultivate, purify it inside your soul, and like that you won't attract dark entities. Do you understand? We have here the world and the Two of Pentacles. This is exactly, I'm sorry, this is a political reading, or I don't know how to call it. I started with this two-person, and it's going here. I don't know why. This is the message. Juggling. Darkness or the good. This is not a religious question. This is a question where, as human, the humanity will go, which direction? It was really interesting because It's just a personal thing. I have three eye colors and it's changing. I have no idea how I do it, okay, but it's green, gray, and brown. And the gray, I developed it the last few years. I didn't have that before. From birth, I had just two. And the gray came in 5, 6 years ago, a bit more. And I did not know that actually it's really rare. The blue ichor, you find lots of people with a bit gray, there's just few of them. And actually there are certain star seeds. And the planet they're coming from, or the galaxy they're coming from, they have exactly this situation. And they manage to create harmony between the darkness and a light. And I did a research and I watched a woman who channeled on this race. And it was really interesting, but I could see her limitation because she's divine and she does. I mean, when you bring a total, it's complicated, but you need to check out both of the side exactly what's going on. But she does not want just a divine. And to have a perfect vision, because source is like that, they created both. But anyway, what she was talking about, that in that galaxy, according my eye color I am from, this is in harmony. I mean, there is not that much of hate between each other than on Earth. I know it's difficult to understand. I don't think it's possible to get that on Earth. But actually, there are some starseeds, not too many, but some of them sent from this galaxy on Earth to try to bring this wisdom down. But to bring that wisdom down, at first, and there are lots of changes needs to be happen, okay? But this is really interesting because what you do, you can't make those principalities or those strongholds to go away from the planet. They won't. Where they go? They will go another continent, another countries. So I think the final solution is here in this galaxy, because they managed to live together in peace, relatively in peace. But this is the next step. The first step, that human leaders are capable to maintain a neutrality that I was talking about, the truth, or at least to have half-half in a country or on a continent, but not, it does not overpower the darkness totally, because if it does, humanity is lost. So it was interesting. If you have gray eyes and a certain blood type, it is possible that you are from that race. And it's also possible that you had many lives in other races. I know there is lots of Pleiadians in me also, but big part of my soul is coming, spirit is coming from there. I mean, when you reincarnate not only as a human, but other races. I know this is a heavy foot for people. I'm sorry, guys. Should not talk about this. So let's get back to this couple, okay? I don't know why I had to talk about politics and all these things, okay? I know that these dark principles, they don't want me to talk about this. But if you want to make considerate changes in your country, you have to considerate this spiritual background, because without it, you can't make changes. We are not puppets. We have a huge power, and this is our free decision and free will. And a fight is a dark entities manipulating this free will, and divine entities, not divine, this is the wrong word, high vibrational entities respecting this. They don't manipulate human decision and free will. And we humans are stuck between the two. And we have to recognize the manipulation on our brain, on our decision, so we could resist it. Like a machination, the 3D grid normally was not evil. I mean, was not this horrible matrix that we live in. And you believe in or not, I don't care, but some draconian and reptilian effects created, and reality, the part of the reality, they deformed it like a trap. Okay, and especially when you are starseed and when your soul come down to the baby, it's like a tunnel. It's like a tunnel. So the soul goes through this tunnel that actually these Draco reptilian entities created, and you embody yourself with this grid. 3D grid, they modified, they abused practically. So when you come in the body of the baby, you born blinded practically. And you will carry this suffering, these blockages, all these things that you got stuck to your soul, stuck to your spirit when you came through that tunnel they created. And they pose it deliberate where they can see there is a starseed is coming down, somebody who meant to make changes in earth. So these I don't know, like, how shall I represent this? How shall I represent this? Because energetically, as I see it, guys, that, okay, I do it with my, when you turn, you create like, as it's turning, there is a hole inside, okay? There is a hole inside. I don't know if you can. There is a hole inside, but here there's a hole also, so it can go through. Imagine this is the 3D grid, the matrix. So the Draconian invented something to twist it like that, and you have a hole there. And there is a hole also. So when the spirit of the baby, the divine spirit, the divine soul, the spirit actually, comes down to the baby and gets embodied with the 3D matrix, he goes into this tunnel that the Draconian and the Draco-reptilians created. And when it goes through this tunnel, it's like the body is covered with this grid, or I don't know how to call it, structure. And that is the body is covered with this structure, will cause suffering, will cause blockages, will cause all kinds of things in your life that you won't be able to step into your destiny. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but energetically, this is what's happening. And it's Draco Reptilian who created that. Originally, it did not meant to be so difficult. It did not meant to be so difficult. They're hitting me. After you believe these entities or not, it's your own, you leave this part out if you don't believe in it. I mean, I don't want to change the belief system and faith of people, especially not people in power. I just want you to see. And after you create your own belief system, what you believe in, I just want you to understand the base, the structure, what is behind the visible. Don't want to change your religion. Don't want to change governments, or, don't misunderstand me. I just want these people to be able to keep their freedom, to be able to keep their free decision, the free choice, and not to be manipulated by this dark mass I described, this void energy, this darkness. And when you are light, you just cut it up, and it takes lots of sacrifice. But once it starts growing the light, it's easier and easier. Look at Africa. When you study history, you see that's how the Second World War got turned around. And situation that normally would have led into disaster got turned around. I'm sorry, guys. I will be honest with you that, yes, I can do love reading. I can do all these kind of things, but God forgive me. I'm not that type of woman who's, yes, I like makeup. Yes, I like nice clothes, but this is not my prince. I mean, I don't really care about that too much. I can't help it. I like things like that. I'm interested in things like that. Okay, we have here the Ten of Swords that most women are not. So many women who's coming in my channel, they waiting for love reading, and they get pissed off because I got messages. So there's the other, go on a blue dragon tarot channel, and then they are love things up. Okay, Two of Wands and the Chariots and the Ten of Swords. Yeah. Okay. These people wanted to control the divine feminine, divine masculine destiny. This is exactly, I'm talking about two star seeds. When these two star seeds came down and they were in this hole, they actually got embodied with this membrane of the matrix that these Draco reptilians created, that is actually a deformed matrix. It's not the real original one. You need to understand. And when you have this membrane around you and you moving around all over your life in a 3D, this membrane is attracting karmic people to you who will undermine your destiny. Do you understand? It will attract. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't have bad karma. Most of you come down with a huge positive karma deposit. You should be a king or the emperor on earth on 3D. With that divine heritage you were born. But these membrane that is embody you, your vessel, your soul, will attract this to undermine your destiny. And this is a Draco reptilian invention. Why? Because they want to control you. They don't want you to bring changes on earth because they have their own agenda. I mean, the oneness, the one world order, that is what they're saying, that the oneness, the universe is one, we are all one. Yeah. But in the same times, the beauty is in that in this oneness, people have their individuality. They different. When you go to the particles, they are all different. When you examine a human body, it's a human being. But when you go to the cells, one of them is liver cell, the other one is kidney, the other one is bone, different. And the beauty is in the differences. And for God's sake, those civilizations where the upbringing of the young, the young race was centralized, they lose empathy. And the problem is that the vibration get lower. Without empathy, vibration gets lower. You can't do that. You can't do that. You will kill out the soul from humanity. So there is a new structure that is necessary where there is a oneness, but in a oneness we appreciate differences. And this is extremely difficult because yes, I'm not nobody, I'm nothing. Of course I don't know. But honestly, I have connection with source. And I can't bring wisdom for that have to do it. I guess many human has to get together and find it out. Those who has capacities, work together. This is a project on earth and for humanity that requires different leaders, different experts. Like a human body, you have different parts of the body and it all makes it work together. That needs to be done like that. One person can't bring the solution. And source won't give it to you because you create what you create with your act, with your thoughts, with your speech. That's how you create. With your free will. You have to be conscious about who you are, what is the situation, what is a 3D matrix, how it was deformed, and how everything is changing. And how you as a human with your free will, with your intelligence, fit into it and how you want to change it. And you have to see the consequences because you are the fun of evil things. You need to understand you destroy your own race. So if you want power, and for power you destroy humans, my question, who do you want to rule over in 10 years, 8 years, 15 years? If nothing else, they have to be a balance. And both sides needs to recognize that. The high priestess, they wanted to stop two high priests, the high priest and high priestess. This is somebody who has connection with source. They bring down energy from source to make changes in humanity on earth. And that is exactly what's happening here. This couple in this car was just tools in hand of low vibrational principalities and to betray star seeds, divine people. This divine masculine and divine feminine is a victim of that. But you need to understand, if you are this divine feminine, divine masculine, you need to take that membrane off. But sometimes it's impossible. So you need to grow in your power. So your light energy actually will cause holes on this membrane, go through it, and liberate you from its prison. So you could step into your power, get your abundance, and finally do what you came on earth to do. Do you understand? But you have to realize what's going on. You have to see what's going on. If not, you can't break through. You can't. That's the only way to step into your destiny. This is the reason When somebody dark steal your destiny, they can't do anything with it, because they actually they are part of this grid. I mean, they can't violate themselves to be able to use this destiny properly. It's impossible. That's why stealing destiny has no sense. Only star seeds who's given to have a control these grid, and after human can be awakened and play around and actually form it, change this 3D grid, the matrix. It won't disappear. Huh? So human will raise into the power like a Draco reptilian who created this whole, to modify this. When you are awakened, and that's why they don't want you to be awakened. Okay? But when you are karmic, you are not awakened, and you steal a destiny from a divine person, and you want to do the same thing what they do, you are incapable, because you are part of this deformed greed that the Draco reptilians, and it's not just them who deformed it. There is a very huge Anunnaki it's okay, I won't get into this, but there are many races had effect, unfortunately, on this 3D grid, the matrix. And when you are karmic, you just can't steal a destiny of a divine being and hoping you will do the same thing than a divine being did. You can't. Simple as that. So they wanted to destroy this divine feminine, divine masculine. I mean, you can see tarot readers reading that, how dare you to touch divine feminine and divine masculine, this is an earth angel, blah, blah, blah. Honey, this is what you signed for. You know about this membrane, you know about this grid, you know about all these shits that's gonna happen. Remember my example, like a darkness cake. I mean, it's all black, and the knife is coming in like a knife. It's like a light energy. It is you, the knife. Do you understand? It is you, the knife. You know exactly this is the darkness. You have to cut. You have to cut. You have to come in and cut it. You signed this contract. You know exactly. But you are special because Source trusted you, only you, to come in and do it. You are a warrior, and you were sent to slice this darkness, so the light can come in and start fixing things. So after the others who come after you will be easier for them. Do you understand what I'm saying? It does not mean you accept being stopped by. You need to stand up and fight, like people did in a Second World War. You can't say that, no, I had enough. I go hide somewhere, I have my wife, I have my husband, we will have kids, and we will go off grid and hide somewhere, because everywhere is this. You can't hide. You can't. You have to go through it. Do you remember this? I don't know if you are coming from Anglo-Saxon country. The kids has this really famous story that when a family goes somewhere, and there is a forest. It's really scary. We are afraid. We can't go around it. We have to go over it. And after there's a water, we can't go over it. We have to go through it. While 3D matrix is the same. You can't go over it. You have to go through it. You have to go through it. You can't hide. Well, I thought it will be a criminal reading, but it's not. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I don't know why is it somebody trying to affect my cards. This is this spiritual food I'm giving you today, guys. I don't know if everybody can digest it, okay? Because these are deep spiritual things. I wish I could remember the title of the book of Patterson, because he writes lots of, not all, but I'm talking about but many things about this, how geographically the spiritual principalities works all over the world. And my God, I was 18 when I read this book. It's extraordinary. I mean, there was lots of things in it. I mean, I don't even remember the entire name of the writer because it was so long time ago. But I remember I learned a lot about this book. I understood why certain things happen. It was like a key that blocked my spiritual vision that actually I already saw but did not understand, and brought clarity, you know. Okay, let me see. Okay. Yeah, there is an air sign woman who's in totally in distress. I think this air sign woman is the woman on the side of the guy in a car. This is why it's important that you can see manipulations, because these people were manipulated into creating this. You need to understand the spiritual beings or principalities or strongholds or genes or demons, you call it as you want. These low vibrational entities are incapable physically harm somebody in the free day. They use humans' free will and humans. So these humans can hurt them. And when they use, they will manipulate them so they can make a decision to hurt those divine feminine, divine masculine. And sometimes these people are not evil. You need to have a vision about this structure. How does it work? What are these entities behind it? So you could really freely make a decision according your will, because that is correct. That is clear for you when you do this, what will be the consequences. Remember I was talking about Newton. I don't remember which scientist was that in a rocking chair. I don't remember anymore. But they all did a technique to tap into ether. And this is when you tap into ether, and you can see that if you make this decision, that will happen. If you make the other one, that will happen. And that's when you don't decide according your emotions, because dark entities has effect on your emotion exactly for the reason that you make a wrong decision. That's why it's important. Okay. Yeah, I think it's when a woman said that, she said, I don't want to go to prison, but they did something that they can go to prison for, because they made a wrong decision from free will, and actually these dark entities use them so they can stop this divine feminine, divine masculine to step into their destiny. And actually for a very long time this woman was proud of this, being a dark witch or the dark whatever, you know. And now that they need to take the consequence, because you remember the dark cake is sliced now. getting sliced by a light energy. And a light energy is slicing into her life, sending her into prison. And it's not funny anymore. And where is your entity now? They give a shit. They don't care. They don't care. That's when I discussed with well, not really a witch, but a mage, alchemist mage, and I discussed, why do you use demons? Why do you use dark entities? I mean, this is a mage who knows angels, knows demons, and I don't know why he used both of them. Okay, and he told me that listen to me, I can't use angels all the time because sometimes I need immediate action. And I said, I don't understand. He said that angels are slow, demons are quick. I said, what? And after, I let him in this. I mean, I didn't argue with him, and I just was meditating and asking souls that I don't understand. What is he talking about? And that's what souls show me, that angels, I mean, well, he said angels, but high vibrational entities consider universal law. They consider the consequences. If they do something, what will happen? What kind of changes it will bring that person's life? What kind of changes it will bring in humanity in big scale? Demons does not think. They just do. They give a shit of the consequences. Dark entities do not think of consequences. They don't think what consequences it will bring into your life. You ask them to do something, they go out and do it. They don't care that your life will be fucked up after. You ask them. They are quick. And they give a shit about the consequences. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Just because you ask a demon, a dark entity, it does not mean they are more powerful than high vibrational beings. You call them angels, call them angels. If they are slow, there is a reason for that. If the demons or dark entities are fast, there is a reason for that also. But I guarantee you, the consequences is not the dark entities who will take, but you got the quick results. Seven of Wands. Yeah, defending yourself, standing your ground, perseverance, protecting your territory. This is what this high priestess did. And high priest, I mean, I get this for the divine masculine and divine feminine also. When you awaken, you know who you are, why you were sent. You will stand up and you do your job, no matter what. If you can't run, you walk. If you can't walk, you crawl. But you move forwards because you know what you have to do. Yeah, we have here the Seven of Pentacles. Harvest time for everybody. I mean, another big spiritual chunk or food, when you understand source has both of the polarity and the middle, and the middle is neutrality. So sometimes a source has spiritual beings who are neutral, not evil but not light. They are in the middle. Why? When you have a karma that's supposed to hit a person like that, because all moves against, all moving around low. It's not that because, oh, I love this woman, so I will send and punish this little girl. No, they are the same. Who respect the spiritual laws, who knows the spiritual laws, how they work out. And if they make a mistake, what kind of intention they put out to fix it. But there is no difference essentially between them. Is how they use their free will, how they move forward. That's what makes the difference. So sometimes the karma they create for themselves, the harvest, is require spiritual beings that are not divine, but not evil. Spiritual beings who look at the karma, look at the spiritually everything what this woman did, and make a judgment. If you are a judge, you know what I'm talking about. You have to be neutral. And a judgment is done, somebody has to do it. You can't send a divine entity because a divine entity won't hurt a human. Do you understand? You can't send a dark entity because a dark entity will destroy a human. Won't teach any lesson. It will be total destruction and evil. And no, the neutral will go out. It's like they have a paper. I have to do this and this because this is the decision of the judge. I have to make you to do what the judge decided you have to do. Spiritually imagine that. On white and black, it's written what I have to do with you. No more, no less. Only a neutral spiritual entity can do that. And they are working with karma. That's when they push you in a dark night of the soul. But this is not an evil entity, but not a divine. You are in a dark night of a soul. Your intention, your heart towards your source, your free will that will decide how you will go through it, how you will tolerate it, how much burden it will put on you. It's impossible to go through it without being burdened, But this neutral entity who put that on you is just. If he can see that you are just with yourself and you look into the mirror of your soul and say, yeah, I fucked up, but I feel like I don't have a force to go through, help me. That entity will make sure you will have help. But this entity sees your heart, your real intention. And in the same time, if you get more evil and you want to hurt more people, this entity will fuck you up. I'm talking about a neutral entity that you should be afraid of, much more than an evil or a divine one. This is another spiritual food that is heavy and people can understand. It's difficult to digest it. Divine entity won't fight or won't hurt humans. They go against darkness. They don't deal with humans putting karma on them or this or that. They might alter certain situation during the fight with the darkness, but these are neutral entities who's coming down and do the job, the karma, the justice. Exactly. This is a neutral entity. The balance. When Tarot reader says everything will be balanced out, when this neutral entity starts working and fix things. But you need to understand there's a matrix of the universe also, of the galaxy also. The ether has a matrix. Each act you do, each decision you do, it has an imprint in the ether, in the grid of the grid, a matrix of the universe, matrix of the um, um, where you are, the galaxy. Okay, and these neutral entities balance it out. So if there is too much evilness, they fix it. If the light energy is too much, that the dark can exist, and in that universe is supposed to be balanced out. I mean, there is like a programming of this grid of the ether, the programming of the grid, a programming of the universe, the galaxy, that's actually determine what kind of work these neutral entities do. But in a galaxy, in a universe where we live, they're supposed to be balanced out. So these, I don't care how much you hate them or like them, if there's too much light, the darkness can't breathe, so it will be balanced out. If there's too much darkness, it will go down. So the balance is stay balanced. Do you understand? This is really, really difficult to understand. There is an original structure of the universe and this galaxy that Source created. It has to be intact in a certain way that the basic structure does not change. I mean, there is a space for evolution, but the basic programming has to stay the same. And this is the program who makes sure that how Source wanted this universe and this galaxy stays like that. So the evolution is a tiny bit directed in the right direction. Yeah. The Six of Pentacles is reversed and a tower. This woman will lose all of her spiritual gifts, at least until she will become divine. She won't have any. This is horrible. Horrible. I thought it will be a criminal reads. I will change the title. I'm sorry, guys, but it's not really a criminal reads. There's somebody in a law enforcement or army in a leader position who will be risen up the next few months. He will have lots of promotion. One thing you need to remember, that you keep your integrity. I mean, no human perfect. I'm not saying that you have to be a saint. Don't misunderstand. I know you are not. Nobody is anyway. But you have to keep your free freedom to choose freely. Do you understand? Freedom to make decisions freely. And the same apply for this judge. This judge will advance in his career. I mean, the next few months, he will have a very powerful position. That's the wheel of fortune is in a positive direction. To continue this path, you have to be aware of these spiritual things I'm talking about, even that you don't believe in spirituality. If you want to stay in power or grow in power, this is the truth I'm saying. With the Ace of Swords, this is the truth I'm saying. And you know, the other things is when you have leaders, I mean, in a country, and they pay spiritualist or tarot reader, whatever, you know, to get inside in the invisible. It's like you go to a restaurant, you eat, but it's you who digest it. And the mistake people make when they pay a tarot reader, a spiritual leader, or a spiritual teacher. Hold on a second, guys, because my battery is going off. Unbelievable. Oh boy, boy, boy. So what you do, what some people do is, yeah, it's better. When you let a spiritual teacher manipulate you, that's mean you don't do a checkup on them, but you take 100% what they say, you don't digest it, but you make it reality. Digesting each spiritual advice, each tarot reading, each prophecy, each whatever me or other spiritual teacher, other tarot reader, or whoever spiritual advisor or religious advisor tell you, you have to digest it. You have to go and meditate, check out Eta with the idea they give you. And if you feel something is wrong with it, then you make the opposite decision. It's totally your responsibility and you have a right to do it. You understand? I mean, spiritual people should not be able to manipulate your decision, but be a guidance. And after you have a free will to decide which way to go. And maybe there's another way, because you need to understand that spiritual leaders, spiritualist, tarot leader, nobody can see absolutely everything in a spiritual realm, only partially. So sometimes what you get is a partial truth. You understand? Not the entire, because there's nobody can see the whole thing together. That's why the information you get, you need to digest it. And after, it's you who make a decision. You take it as a guideline, okay? Man, it's like when I bought a sewing machine, and my sewing machine broke down. So I get the guideline to see how to fix it, but the description did not fit. I mean, it did not solve the problem of the sewing machine. So I did not follow it, but I figured it out somehow, untraditional way to make it work. That is other question. After 6 months, it broke down. I had to take to a place to repair it. Okay. So, but what I'm saying is that sometimes the guideline that a spiritual person gives you, especially if, when you check up and you digest, you can filter out already a fake spiritualist, who wants to manipulate you or who gives the wrong information to you. So you can't filter it out, first of all. Second, if that person is so well the things that they told you will happen but didn't see everything, when you go meditate, when you have access to it, you can get the other half of this information and make the right decision. Do you understand? Do not be. It's like in love reading. What is when the tarot reader is reading, oh, your soulmate is coming, it will be so more romantic, they will spoil you, but she forget to read that this is a narcissistic and this is love bombing. Or when the tarot reader reads, oh, this is a narcissistic person because she's toxic and he's toxic and blah 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 blah, and you run away from that person, but in reality this person went through a horrible abuse, he's having a trauma and he's healing himself or she is. And actually this is not a narcissistic toxic trait but a symptom of healing, because he or she is not narcissistic, it's just a trait because of the trauma he or she's been through and healing it, but it's still visible. But the tarot reader does not tell you. So you will get this is an evil person, this is a Jezebel, this is a narcissistic, this is, and in reality, she or he is healing himself and a divine. But at the moment, there are some toxic traits. Can you feel the difference? Tarot readers do not realize, and that's why so many people are upset with tarot readers, because when you give out information and you don't see everything, you can fuck up people's life. If they take everything letter to letter and do everything as you say they should do. And that's why people get upset with me, that when I give a prediction, I say this and this I can see. After it's you who decide. You need to digest it, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes I lost clients and they go to tarot reader who says, no, this is like that, this is like that. And they think, oh, yes, this tarot reader knows really well. No, honey. That tarot reader does not see everything. Just like me or other tarot readers, we see partially. We can't see everything because we wouldn't be humans if we could see everything. We would be a certain type of angelic race who can do that, but we are not. You are not. I need to finish this soon because it will be too long. Nine of Cups and the Devil. After, you need to realize, I think for leaders, it's really important that they know their shadow side. You can't get rid of it. It's really hard to understand for human. Your shadow side, you can't get rid of it. It's there. You have to handle it. Your desires, physically, sexually, your ego desire for money, power, desire to have a woman or a man. Everybody has that. Everybody. You are not a, you're not an angelic race. Do you understand? You're human. So one of your choice will always be this dark energy when you want to feed your shadow side. Or when you feed your shadow side, you lose your integrity on the long term and change direction. You have to cultivate, do your shadow work to be able to harness the power of your shadow side, to be able to harness its energy, transmute it, so it would support your integrity and your morale. So you could make decisions that is good for you, your future, and in a big picture, humanity. Do you understand? But denying your shadow side won't lead you anywhere because you will suffer. For example, if you have an addiction, there's one part of your shadow side that's feeding it. Until you don't deal with it, you can't deal with this addiction. You will suffer. And this is again on a micro level, the balance I was talking about, the good and the evil, and middle of it is a neutrality. And when you become a master of your shadow side and your light side, then you become neutral. And that is actually in a way divine, because source is divine. This is really, really difficult to understand for many people, because when I talk about it, they think that you want to be evil and good in the same time. It's impossible. No, I'm not talking about this at all. At all. This is alchemist level I'm talking about. But all of us has the capacity to become an alchemist. And actually, that is finally what should happen with everybody. Page of Swords. And the Ten of Pentacles. This is what you need to protect. Your Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is not money here. This is your real freedom, the control over your soul, your decision, your reality, your shadow side, your light side, everything that is going on in your life. When you get back the control, you fall out of this hole in the matrix, this membrane that you got around you, so they can't control it anymore. Actually, you will become the master of the matrix. And actually, the structure of the 5D Earth matrix is made in a way that us can modify it as we want. You understand? So that's why in a 5D Earth, people who can't get this balance, I don't know, where is the Temperance card? When you go in a 5D Earth and you can't balance out your shadow side and your light side, you don't have this neutrality to create. I mean, the neutral is respecting, the matrix you are in, to respect its integrality, that you make changes only that does not deform it. You have to be in this state when you shift in a 5D Earth, because everybody will have the power to modify the 5D grid, the matrix. But if everybody's modifying it in different direction because they have ego or they want power, they want sex, whatever, like we do it on a 3-day earth right now, but it will turn apart and collapse. That's why only this type of people can enter in a 5D earth. So you could create correctly. That does not go against the grid, the matrix of the 5D earth, the structure. And this neutrality is the Ten of Pentacles, your real worth, the capacity to control your reality. And that's mean it's with a wisdom. It's not like that, oh, I'm evil, I will steal the destiny of this and create lots of money and the woman will dance around me naked and blah, blah, blah. No, that is not 10 Pentacles, honey. No. It comes with the wisdom, the neutrality. You know the cause and you know the consequences, what you will cause with your acts, with your creation. In a big picture, you can see the big picture. That's when you are neutral. You understand? So it won't interfere and tear apart the matrix you are in, but support it, perfectionate it. This is a huge responsibility. People do not understand. And that's why people get upset when I say when you are evil is the first evolutionary step in your soul. No, that is the best, blah, blah. No, you don't have the wisdom because you did not go through the divine part. You have to go through evilness, divine. And there is a path between the two, the purification. And when you went through the two, then you get in a neutral state when you are capable to be a true alchemist. Then you have this 10 of Pentacles. I mean, a real one, not the naked woman dancing around you. I mean, if you want to create that, why not? Because when you are in a 5D earth, the sexuality is on a different level. But this is not lust. So when you don't have lust, you don't want many partners. Because spiritually, you can't get the same thing. You will understand this. So you won't have these lustful, darker, desire-oriented creations. If you want, you can create. But it will cause detriment in a certain way. Because you will cause detriment. Detriment is French. Tear, it will tear away the life and the matrix of the woman who's dancing naked and yours and that woman who actually you love or loves you. So this is complicated. When you understand the cause and consequences, you won't create dancing women around you. I'm telling you. But you will create a perfect sexual harmony that will satisfy you with that this wisdom that you can't imagine on 3D earth yet. It's impossible. We're growing into it. Right, this is not a criminal reading. That is evident, okay? I think I will stop it because everybody wants to. I don't know what time is it. This is Sunday. Thank you. If you're watching my video, I'm really grateful. Thank you very much for watching it. And well, I don't dig into it more. I don't know. I just, I have impression the police knows everything about these people, what they need to know. These two people in that car does not know all the proofs that they are against them because the police did not show all. They will come out in front of the judge, lots of proofs. That will be shocking. And I guarantee you, you won't get away with it. That's the problem. I know for you, but this is your decision, what you made, and this is your harvest time. You need to understand. Okay, right. I stop it because it's very long, 2 hours. I'm sorry, guys. It got so long. Thank you for watching. Okay, take care. Bye bye.